15,000 spectators are expected to turn out in the Highlands this weekend for the first round of the Scottish Stage Rally Championship. The Snowman Rally, as it's known, takes cars on a route north of the Highland capital and includes forest track sections on the Black Isle.
This is a real test for rally drivers, and some of the top British drivers will take part in the Snowman Rally. Its 7 stages cover different sorts of terrain, from Inverness to Garve and over here to this stretch on the Black Isle near Munlochy. There will be at least 94 teams competing, including several first-timers like 25-year-old Andrew Morrison from Inverness.
It's been quite hard to get everything organised, a lot to get organised, entries, licences, etc. But we're well organised, so hopefully everything should go according to plan tomorrow.
It costs each team £340 to enter the rally. The maintenance of the cars is pretty costly too. Drivers taking these test runs thought they'd have their work cut out to do well. Even one of the favourites and another local driver had to agree.
The course looks very, very good, but it's very deceptive. There's a lot of ice, and it's patchy ice. It's no constant. There's some parts of the course there's a lot of traction, and there's some parts of no traction. Very difficult.
The rally is a labour of love for the organisers. Making money is simply not part of it. For example, they'll pay over £350 for each mile of this forestry track used.
If Highland Car Club break even with Win a Watch, the costs are escalating annually, and we're finding it very difficult to pass on to the competitor. This year we've got 94 competitors, so hopefully we will make some money, but unfortunately that'll have to go to all the people who've been doing things for nothing for years for us, and it's payback time.
But never let it be said that we don't get close to the action. Confidence and skill is crucial in driving. Sadly, sometimes, just sometimes, it all goes wrong.
We're filming that.
Nobody was hurt in this little altercation with the ditch, just as well, because our cameraman always wants to keep filming.
Television, where Grampian weekends at 5 to 3. First, more from the Inverness highlights of the Scottish Rally Championships.
The first round of the Tyresafe Scottish Rally Championship, and we're in Inverness for the Arnold Thistle Snowman Rally. The new season is wide open with some new faces alongside the more familiar ones. True to its name, the Snowman had just the right conditions to test the 92 entries. Back again, former champion Brian Lyle in his new Subaru World Rally car.
This time yesterday we weren't coming. And Chris Mellors suggested that, well, at the end of the day, if you get 10 points, it's better than nothing, which of course is absolutely right. But I think the problem I have is that you could say maybe I've been spoiled over the last few years, and you expect that when you come to do a rally, everything's just so. So it'll be interesting to see how we go this time when things aren't just so.
My car's probably not the ideal car for the snow. It's a very, very powerful car, which is what every rally driver looks for, but in conditions like today, power's not really an advantage. We'd probably be better with less power.
I'm expecting snow and ice, so I'll be taking it easy for the first couple just to see how it goes. There's no point in going flat out at the start and trying to win the event in the first stage. That's just no use at all as well, just trying to see what it's like after a couple of stages and hopefully be there or thereabouts at the finish.
Andy, I'm here.
There you are. Good morning to you.
Good morning. What sort of day are you looking forward to?
I'm hoping it's going to dry out a wee bit. We don't like the icy stuff, and I've been to the optician and got these new glasses, and I think they're going to make a big difference today.
I think they possibly could.
I've been going on for years without specs, and I think this is going to be the big difference. This is a turning point in my career today.
I would think it's a turning point in your whole life, actually.
Well, things have become much clearer.
And with a clear road ahead, Brian Lyle was first away from the start ramp in the centre of Inverness, heading for the first of the 7 special stages. The crowds were out in force for stage 1 at Glenurquhart, and Lyle wasn't happy with his car.
effectively as a non-active car because of the problems that we had. So it's quite interesting. Yeah, it's too unpredictable for this because I really don't know what the car is going to do. So I would suppose you could say that we're at certainly no more than 80% at the moment, but we'll see how it goes.
John Byrne and Stan Quirk had slimmed down for the new season and went straight into the lead.
It's not a bad start. We're leading at the moment, which is the main thing. It's not by very much, but we've managed to pull out a wee bit of a lead. But there's quite a few lads that are catching us off going quite quick behind us. So stages are very, very slippy, very icy, unpredictable. 1 minute gravel, the next minute snow and ice. So it really is a case of trying to guess how quick to go.
But after the good start, it wasn't going all his own way, and here on stage 4 at Rogie, he fell foul of the slippery conditions in the deep snow. Andy Horn had a short event, crashing out on the second run through this stage when he lost control on a right-hand bend and fell into a ditch. We're in car with Gary Adam, and that's Horn slowing down the oncoming cars.
Left one, crest.
That's his car, well and truly down and out.
Keep in.
Dave Weston realised pretty quickly he'd made the wrong tyre choice for the snowy forests of Inverness-shire. Then, with snow tyres fitted, his engine began misfiring. It just wasn't his day.
Really slippy. We chose the wrong tyre, we're on too wide a tyre. And just every time you give it throttle, it just wants to spin on itself. But no, it's a case of survival today. We think any finish is better than no finish.
1, go!
John McEwen had the shortest event of all. We're with the Irishman, who was second in the championship last year, but here on stage 1, it went all wrong.
Long 6 right, keep in. Into 7 left over crest.
He's spun right round and is now facing the wrong way down the stage, and co-driver Francis Regan is concerned that the radiator's burst and other cars are about to appear.
John, the radiator's burst. John, get in off the road, get off the road, park around here. John.
Has the radiator burst?
Aye.
Well, that's that stage.
I think the radiator's not burst. I think it is.
It's not.
I think it is.
Here, we'll go down the stage of ours, we'll replace it there.
That's the next competitor passed, and John McEwen pulls out to limp to the end of the stage.
That'll be hard. That 5 left over crest. 5 right, Welland.
He's bruised and battered, but gets to the end and retires. Jim Carty liked the early stages, and he was happy that he'd fitted the right tyres. But here on stage 4 at Rogie, he lost 30 seconds after a spin and had trouble turning round again. Andrew Wood was out for the first time in his new car, Chris Wagner's old Audi, and he was still feeling his way.
Yeah, first stage very slippy and a wee bit slow to get used to the new car, but quite pleased. Second stage we're fastest done, so just keep everything crossed.
By stage 4, an engine mounting had broken, but he was still challenging for the lead. steady run for Gary Adam at the start, but on stage 2 he got a fright when he came on Ian Archer reversing down the stage.
100.
Let's watch that from inside Adam's car.
Left 3. Coming up to a split junction, right 1 into a left 3, bumpy to a left 1 and a right 3. So it's a left 3, left 1.
We stay on?
Yep, right 3.
By stage 4 he'd developed a nice style in left foot braking and caught and passed Dave Weston's Mitsubishi. First time in the snow for Irishman Trevor Moore, and he found it difficult with 3 spins, a couple of near-offs and struggling for grip. But here on stage 4 he set fastest time.
I can't believe how slippy it is. I've never driven anything like it in my life. I would say I have the wrong tyres on, you know, but I still wouldn't be in the pace of the other boys. They're flying.
Are you going to change your tyres now?
Aye, we're going to go on to snow tyres now, we are, but we're too far behind them, and plus I think they're mad. They're going far too fast at the front.
Wrong tyres were making things difficult for Andy Kelly.
We had a little off about halfway through, and then on the downhill section it was very slippy. I think we'll probably get a little bit too hard a compound tyre, but we got through it, all but quite a bit down in the rest of the field. Second stage was a bit better.
It all went wrong though on the 9-mile stage 4 when he got 2 front punctures and things slowed down a lot with a huge loss of time. Malach Nicol from Teeling was 4th fastest on the first stage, but had an anxious moment when a spectator stepped out in front of the car. That unsettled him, and he said he began driving like his 86-year-old mother. Brother Bill didn't have snow tyres and suffered several spins. And a short event for Phil Walker from Killarn, who retired his venerable Mazda with mechanical problems. Gordon Smith's Escott Cosworth had a new engine, but it wasn't sounding too healthy here on stage 2. On the 4th stage he was going well, but struggling with the handling, only to find at the end he had a rear puncture. Alan Dixon overshot a junction on the first stage, who after a year's break felt a little out of practice. Halfway through the event he felt back in his stride and was setting better times. In Kenny McKinstry's rented Subaru Impreza, Raymond Munro was plagued with a misfire. After this puncture on stage 4, he decided to call it a day.
Yeah.
No real problems though for Stuart McQueen, apart from trying to keep the car on the road. John Hamilton had changed his Escort for a Metro 6R4, and he found it had much more grip, but was quite a handful. He hit a bridge on stage 3 and lost time later with a loose wishbone. George MacDonald was also out in a new car, but he wasn't used to left-hand drive and spun the Nissan Sunny on the first stage. In these conditions he wished he had four-wheel drive, but he was still leading his class. In his first event on snow, Barry Johnson had bought Dave Higgins' Group N Subaru, and he was enjoying himself. He was sharing a service crew with Alan Barr in an identical car. He overshot the split junction on the first stage and struggled for grip. A slide into a large rock left its mark on his offside sill. Ashley Reid had given up his Mitsubishi for an Astra, but here four-wheel drive would have helped. Without snow tyres, Eddie Houston found the conditions like driving on wet glass. new car for John Morrison, but he found the extra power of the Mitsubishi a bit of a handful on the ice. A return to the stages after many years for Alistair McSkimming at the wheel of a sponsorship-free Metro 6R4, and he was a bit rusty. By the afternoon, the rally had moved north to Morangi Forest near Tain. John Byrne was still in the lead, but only by 3 seconds, and he was determined to hold on to it.
We started off quite well, and then I think we must have fallen asleep halfway through the day because we lost quite a bit of time. So we spent this afternoon trying to eat back at the guys leading, just try and get some time back. So hopefully we've maybe done enough so far, but anything could happen in the next stage. It's very, very slippy.
Things went badly wrong on the final stage with this puncture which scuppered his hopes of victory, and he had to settle for second place. Exhaust problems for Jim Carty.
It's been very eventful. Started off like everyone else, very sloppy. We went not too bad in the first 2 stages, then it started to deviate. The long 9-mile stage we spun and lost about half a minute, and in this section we've just had an exhaust problem and dropped some power. So it's now just a case of trying to get through the last stage and get a result, some points today, and that's it.
So, burbling his way to the finish, he spun 2 miles into the final stage, which dropped him down to 11th place. A poor tyre choice meant stage 5 wasn't good for Andrew Wood.
Too close now. We've lost a lot of time in the long stage because we didn't go. Other people were on snow tyres and we didn't. We opted not to go on them, and have been okay up until now, but that long stage we're definitely wrong. We should have been in the snow tyres. We've lost about 20 odd seconds to them. So I think it's down to about 3 seconds of a lead now, which is rather close.
And only one more stage to go.
It's one more stage. We had a good time on it the first time through, so we'll have to try very hard from the second time, and hopefully we can do it.
A few anxious moments on the last stage, and then a long wait to check others' times before Wood knew the result. Trevor Moore enjoyed his debut on a Scottish rally.
When we got into this first service there, we got snow tyres on it, and we went out and we were third quickest, I think, on the third stage, and then the fourth stage we were the quickest through it, and then them last 2 were a wee bit down on them, and a couple of them now, but we're not far away. We're setting good times now, which is pleasing me, because at the start I was demoralised.
Were you regretting your choice on your tyres this morning?
Well, we just went by what somebody told us, you know, and we thought that was the right choice, and it wasn't the right choice, and I lost like near 3 minutes in the first 2 stages. Like, that's impossible to draw back with, you know, so many good drivers about.
Some final drama on the last bends. First this spin, then on the flying finish he lost control and crashed into a ditch, breaking the lower track control arm, but he still finished 7th. Brian Lyle wasn't very happy.
I think other than the problems that we know we've got, we can't do anything about, I seem to have an uncanny knack of choosing the wrong tyres. And with the wrong tyres for every stage, I keep changing them, and if I'd stuck with the ones I had, it would have been the right choice for the next stage. But of course, it's a lottery in these conditions. So.
But with all the problems, he was content with 3rd place in the new car, and with unpredictable conditions. Malach Nichols' car had been faultless, but he still had more than a few anxious moments in the snow. He was pleased to make it home 6th overall. Gordon Smith enjoyed the conditions.
I'm 5th at the moment, quite happy with the car. It's a bit of a problem to drive it. It goes all over the place, but it's quick.
Were you expecting to be in that sort of position?
I thought with this car it's possible, but whether I could do it, I don't know.
Because the conditions are terrible, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but I quite like driving in these conditions.
Do you?
Yeah, I quite like it.
Why?
I think it's a great equaliser.
High-speed spin on stage 6 and the wrong tyre choice on the final stage, but still 5th overall. This is Alan Dixon.
Very, very slippy, and it's always this balance between can I go a wee bit quicker and not put the car off, but we had a look at the times, they're not been so good, so maybe we need to push on a wee bit more through the next couple of stages.
Do you think many things are going to happen out there though?
I think a lot of people are going to go off. I think it's just a question of how soon you start pushing and how hard you push, and it very much is trying to read the weather. Second stage was on a south-facing slope, so some of the snow had gone and some of the snow was there under the trees, so it's just who reads the conditions best, I think.
Out of practice, so a good result just inside the top 10. Andy Kelly didn't have a problem with his tyre choice. He had no snow tyres left. A cracker of an event was how he described his run, which ended 17th overall. Stuart McQueen ran snow tyres for the first time on stage 5 at Tarlogie, and this helped his times. But on the final stage on normal tyres he got a puncture and had to drive 6 miles with it flat, and he had to settle for 16th place. Dave Weston was having a good time, but there's one very simple lesson about rallying. You should always look where you're going.
Basically, the main problem is the car's not. There's another problem. There's a hole in the intercooler. The car's not. There's a problem with the management system because the intercooler's not working. Well, not getting proper air through it. It's shutting the management system down. It's just dropping like back onto 3 cylinders. So it's a bit hairy when you come out of the ruts in the snow. But we're still plugging away and see how it goes.
So what does that mean? Have you lost lots of time?
Yeah, I lost over a minute at the last stage, the stage before it, the long stage. The car behind me caught and passed me just basically because the thing wouldn't run. So
it's proved to be quite frustrating then.
Yeah, that's right, but I will get it sorted for the next one.
At the end, he caught John Hamilton and followed him for 4 miles. That left him with a broken windscreen, but a top 10 finish. Gary Adam was being co-driven by his dad Gordon and was really getting to grips with the conditions. We're in car with them now, with Gordon calling out the notes.
To left 1 plus 80, to right 2 plus 100, plus a right 5, caution left 6, right 5.
And here they passed Dave Weston.
Left 6, caution. Opens to a long left 2, 120 uphill.
He really pushed hard and beat Gordon Smith to 4th place by just 1 second. A late front puncture cost Bill Nicol valuable time when he stopped to change it. Barry Johnson had had a good time and was pleased with himself.
A bit of a learning curve to say I haven't driven on the snow whatsoever in a rally car, and there was a few wahoos to say the least. We've had some narrow scrapes with no bumps on the car so far.
You look as if you've enjoyed your day.
I can't get the grin off my face.
Just to know you're still here.
I've booked another 3 rallies while we've been here on the mobile phone, I tell you.
One more stage to go. What are your plans in that one?
Well, just keep it on the road really. I think we're running about 6 now, and we're leading Group N, which is amazing for the first rally.
Absolutely excellent.
So we've got the right tool for the job. We bought David Higgins' car, which was obviously won a couple of British Championship rounds last year. So.
Drama on the final stage though when he went off for 2 minutes, which dropped him to unlucky 13th. John Hamilton was happy with his new car.
10th just when we left service the last time. We've been a wee bit further up than that, but yeah, early. It's been a difficult day to learn this car, so first time out and slippy stages as everybody else will have told you, but good fun.
A lost minute on the final stage cost him dearly. He finished 12th.
The first couple of stages went quite well. Third stage we did a very good time because most people were on snow tyres. But unfortunately got to stage 4. The first 4 miles were gravel. We were doing very well, and we came to the snow and I forgot to slow down. So if you look at the side of my car, you'll see I hit a very large rock
ended up with 4 wheels off the ground. Co-driver got out to start to push the car off the rock. We got it going again, and it's dropped us right down the field. So we're trying to claw back some time now.
It's the first time we've drove it. I mean, never been in the forest before with it. Left-hand drive is difficult. It just seems to going okay.
He won his class after a steady run and despite a spin on the final hairpin. John Morrison dropped 7 minutes on the final stage when the car fell off the jack after a puncture. Eddie Houston from Cumbernauld had a fast final stage after what he called some interesting slides during the day. Gordon Cunningham had a problem. He kept catching other cars on the stages all day. That dropped him down to 18th overall. 14th place was an excellent result for Alistair McSkimming. Bruce McCombie was behind the wheel of the diminutive Vauxhall Nova, 33rd overall. Ray Mackay had money worries. His jacket melted on the car's floor, along with his credit cards. Derek Forsyth was at the wheel of his brand new Proton Persona, but he failed to finish. So the first taste of victory for a long time for Borders farmer Andrew Wood. And this is how the first round ended.